Hello and welcome to Stampin' and Crafting with Cheryl Taylor. Today I'm taking part in the Stamp Around UK video hop. The theme this month is spring, so what better than to choose the Woody Friends stamp set and matching punch. So let's have a look and see how I make this card. So I'll be using the Woody Friends stamp set, which makes these gorgeous little sheep. I've already pre-cut a landscape card base using basic white cardstock. I have also pre-cut a smoky slate matte layer, and to do my stamping and that on, I've got another basic white matte layer. So first, get my stamping mat. I'm going to make some grass. Luckily, we have a stamp for that, so I'm just going to grab my garden green and I'm going to stamp the grass along the bottom. So I'm just going to grab a piece of scrap paper because I want to go over the edge as well. So I'm just literally stamping some grass along the bottom. Okay, and of course I'll go over, and then of course we do have grass. That I'm just going to get rid of that line because grass. There's my line of grass. Next, I want to add some flowers. So I'm going to use the granny apple green for my leaves, and then for the stems, and then I'm going to stamp off for the leaves. So let's do our flowers first. I'm just going to go. So I want a sheep there, one in the middle. So I want a sheep jumping over them. And then I want to do some either side. So I'm going to grab a piece of scrap paper and just go slightly over where I'm stamping, just to add an extra one on its own next to it. And I'm going to do the same the other side. So I'm just going to go like that, and then add the next one next to it, like so. Then we're going to stamp the leaves. I said I'm going to do stamped off. So stamp it off and do the middle ones first. And then because I've done either side, I'll need to stamp those as well. So go back to masking it off. I'll do that one first. And I'll pop that there. And then do it on the other side. Stamp it off. And then add it there. There we go. Now the colour flowers. So I thought I would have a mixture of fresh freesia and Highland heather because they're spring colours. So this is where I'm going to need a sticky note. So just bear with me, excuse my arm, because I want to alternate it. So I need a very thin strip. In fact, I'm going to do it. I think if I cut it, it'll be better because I want a really thin strip. want it to cover there. Fill up a little bit. Yeah. So I now want to do my flowers. So I'm just going to line them up like so. And then I'm going to cover that one up. Just give it a quick clean. And use the Fresh Freesia one ink pad. So I'm just going to do, it's quite light. Let's just do, I have to move it slightly because I just noticed they're not quite lined up. So let's do that one there. And we want you there. You there. I'm just going to do this one here. And then we're just going to do this one. Oops. Wrong way. I think I forgot where I'd actually inked it up. And then that one there. Okay, so I've done it like that, which is okay. Now I want to do my sheep. So I've done that. Let's just fold these up. So what I want to do is I've already pre-done my sheep. So I have done their bodies. I've got one jumping and two standing. And these I stamped using black memento ink. And I punched the standing sheep and the sheep's heads out. and the sheep jumping, I cut with my scissors. So I'm just going to lay them. That one jumping. He's going to stand there. He's going to stand there. Yeah. There. So I'm going to stick these straight on. Excuse me. So this is going to be a quick card to do. I just remembered I have got to stamp them first. That's what I was going to do, so never mind. Let's just... I actually want to stamp my sheep bodies, which I forgot. So put that one over. Just move that one. That's sticky. So I'm going to use Smoky Slate. Now this is a tricky part. But I'm going to have to mark my stamps because I can never work out which way round it goes. But so I really do need to mark them with a little arrow. So from that one there, let's have a look where we need to go. There. So it's a case when you struggle and then all of a sudden it happens. Okay, so we've got a grey one. Then we're going to stamp it off. It's not quite right again. There we go. So, and this way we're getting different layers of different colour sheep. I'm going to have another, and have one that's not quite so. Nope. There we go. And as you can see, as well as having the black bits for the bodies, there's also a little white, there's a white swiggle in it as well. Okay. So going back to the card. So this one's going to be jumping. And see how much brighter they are. And then let's do this one. Stick you. I think we'll put you there. Oops. There we go. And then this one. Over here. And they're going to have white legs, I decided. Now we've got sheep round about where I live. And they're by one of our back roads. And they keep trying to get out of the field. So we keep getting on Facebook all these little messages to say the sheep are out again. But it's lovely to see them. So that's my body's done. Now for little heads. I'm going to be using these stamping dimensionals to actually raise up their heads. So, and this is the easy bit because we just stick them down. So, and I'm going to put his head on his body rather than having it raised up like that. I think they look nicer like that. But then you could have them up higher, and then they could look as if they were. I'd probably trim off 2 legs, and then they could be standing on their back legs. So pop you there, and this one, pop you there. So pop you there. And I think he needs to have his eyes open. So let's just grab a journaling pen, the black one, and let's just give him a little bit more of an eye. Let's see. So he's sort of awake-ish and not asleep. And this one I'm going to give one eye open. There we go. So there we go. Now we need a sentiment. So I did have the bits handy. Got some strips that were cut-offs, and they do actually match up nicely. So I'm going to do a sentiment, and the You're Simply Fabulous one. So I'm going to stamp it with Smoky Slate again. Let's just try it on a piece of paper first because I haven't used it before. Yeah, it's going to work. So let's just pop that there. And then we can trim that down. Just going to trim that to a flag on the end. So trim that up there, and then go like that, and then go like that. Then we're going to stick it onto our backing bit. Like so. And I'm just going to trim so we get the bit here, we get this here. And then like so. There we go. Oops. Let's trim this a bit more. That way. And then we can layer up the card. So I'm going to do the matte layer first. Like so. Then I'm going to add our front layer. Like so. There we go. And then I want to add my sentiment layer. Whoops. The sentiment will go like that. So let's raise that up. Like so. And then to finish off, I'm going to add some brass butterflies. Let's grab them. Just to add a bit of bling. So let's choose the larger ones. So we have a nice big one. Come on. Like that. Then we'll have two smaller ones. One there. Turn it around a little bit because I want him to be flying. And I'll put another one just where the flowers are. Okay, and there we have our fabulous spring card. So if you have enjoyed seeing how I made this card up, and it's a brilliant stamp set and punch to use. So until next time, I'll say goodbye, but before then, I forgot, this is a video hop. So the next people in the video hop are in the description below. So please visit them and leave comments. So until next time, keep stamping and crafting. Bye.